Hello, do you hear me? Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the pre-Hanukkah concert here, hosted by Jonathan. Thank you so much for having us. So today's program is folk songs from Israel and around the world. So before we dive into the program, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Gergana, and I play the violin, and this is Mrs. Bell. And I'm so grateful that she's able to join me today on the piano. She's fantastic. And I personally am the violinist and co-founder of Long Island Chamber Music, which is a collective of professional musicians that are dedicated to bringing professional classical music to Long Island. So that's part of my job. And so today's program, as I mentioned, is folk songs from Israel and around the world. The first piece that you heard was from Spain, and it was originally written by Manuel de Falla, and it's part of an opera, so imagine lots of singers and costumes and orchestra. But the Austrian violinist and composer Fritz Kreisler really liked this little number, so he arranged it for violin and piano, which is what you heard today. A moment ago. So as we go through the program, I will also be sharing the different skills that a violinist would need to play each piece, which we call extended techniques. So for this particular piece that you just heard, Danse Espagnole, a violinist would need to know how to bounce their bow and move their right arm really quickly across the strings like this. So basically what you need to do is you need to drop the bow on the strings and then quickly just go with the arm. And the bow kind of bounces by itself. So once you drop it, you just let it go. And it makes that really cool ricochet sound. So the next piece that we'll play is Londonderry Air. And this is an Irish folk song. So we're going to take a trip from Spain to Ireland this time. And this was also written out by Fritz Kreisler. You might recognize it if you know Danny Boy, because the words to Danny Boy are set to this very melody. So this is a very expansive piece, beautiful, warm, lovely, lovely song. And so for this piece, a violinist would need to know how to play in very high positions. So when we're beginners, we learn to put our fingers on the string down here, kind of closer to the scroll of the violin, right there. And we press the fingers down to make different pitches. Now when we get more advanced, we start to learn how to shift the hand higher and higher and higher. So throughout this piece, Londonderry Air, you'll see me that my hand is like all the way up here. So it's a little bit of a difficult skill just because the arm, if I remove the violin, would look like this. So it's kind of a compressed range of motion there. So it takes a little bit of skill to get into those high positions to play those really high pitches. So I hope you enjoy this. Is Londonderry Air. Thank you. The next piece is the Romanian folk dances. I should say pieces. There's actually 6 of them. Today we'll be playing numbers 1, 2, 3, and 5. So we'll be skipping 4 and 6. So we're taking a trip to Romania this time. These pieces were written by Bela Bartok. And the really interesting thing is that these songs were originally played by fiddlers and shepherd flutes. So something cool that the composer Bartok really captured is the shepherd's flute part. There's something called harmonics that we can play on the violin. I'll show you in just a second. But basically what we do is we put one finger and press it firmly into the string, the pointer, we press it firmly, and then we take our pinky and then we just very lightly touch the same string to produce kind of a whistling sound like this. So this is the original pitch, and here's the harmonic pitch. So the third Romanian dance is entirely with harmonics. So it'll literally sound like a shepherd's flute throughout, which is kind of a cool effect to play on the violin. So here are Bartok's Romanian dances. something else that I really love about the Bartok is how just rowdy it feels. Like, you can tell that it was written for fiddle. It has that energy, for sure. We're going to move on to England. So the next set of pieces are the 6 Studies in English Folk Song by Ralph Vaughan Williams. Now, these are just so beautiful. We're going to do numbers 4, 5, and 6 out of the 6, so just the last 3. And the techniques that are used here are varying the different articulations, how we attack the notes and how we connect the notes, and he really forced the violinists to play around with how they use their bow. So the 4th and the 5th studies use a lot of legato, where we play a lot of notes in one bow direction, like this. So that's called slurring, when you play a lot of notes and they're just so smooth and connected. There's no breaks in between and no bow changes. And then the 6th study does the opposite. In the 6th study, we bounce the bow, and each note has a little bit of a pause between the other note, like this. So this bouncy bow is called staccato. So you'll hear the different articulations in these 3 studies out of the 6 that we're going to play for you today. Enjoy. next we're going to move to America. So we'll be playing the Southland Sketches by Harry Thacker Burleigh, who is a very important American composer. We'll be playing the third and fourth sketch out of 4. Now the third sketch is so leisurely. It reminds me of walking in the countryside in the summer. There's something lazy about it, but just so warm and just beautiful. Really lovely. And then the fourth sketch is, starts out very royal. There's like this fanfare, ba, 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 and then it turns kind of mysterious. It goes, do, 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 ba, 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 ba. So there's a lot of interplay between those two moods and those two characters, from regal to tiptoey and mysterious. So a technique that Burleigh uses in this is called double stops, and that's when we play 2 pitches at the same time. And for that, I need to put one finger on one string and then put a different finger on a different string, and to produce 2 pitches at the same time. So it sounds like this. One pitch here, and the second pitch here, and then together. So there's a big, long section of just double stops. So you'll hear 2 voices coming out of the violin at the same time, which is kind of cool because it sounds like 2 violinists are playing, not just one. So enjoy this. These are Burleigh's Southland Sketches. finally arriving to Israel. So, yes. So the next piece that I will play by myself, it's a solo rendition of Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. Did I say it correctly? Okay, all right. So I understand this piece needs no introduction. I listened to a beautiful rendition on YouTube that Jonathan shared with me. It was just so beautiful and gorgeous. So I can't wait to perform it for you all. I hope you enjoy.
Incredible. Thanks everybody for coming. I get to introduce the next piece. Shalom Aleichem. I assume that nearly everyone in the audience is familiar with it. But what may not be as familiar to you is who wrote Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem. Everyone knows that it's pretty much ubiquitous in the Jewish world. So it was written by Israel Goldfarb. Israel and Samuel Goldfarb were brothers. They grew up, actually Israel grew up in Galicia in Poland. He came here when he was already a teenager, but his younger brother Samuel was born also in Poland, but came here much younger at the age of 2. There were 11 children in the family. There were 12 years separating the brothers, and they were both musically talented. Israel decided to become a rabbi. He went to JTS and he became the rabbi of a shul in Brooklyn called the Kane Street Synagogue. What's the significance of that? Well, to those music lovers out there, the treasurer and president of the Kane Street Synagogue when Rabbi Israel Goldfarb took over the pulpit was a man named Harris Copeland, who had a son, Aaron, who became a bar mitzvah in 1913 at Israel Goldfarb's shul. And shortly afterwards, when Aaron got into a fight with his dad about whether he would be able to pursue a career in music, or as his father wanted, a career in law, Rabbi Goldfarb was helpful in convincing his dad to let Aaron study music for just a few years to see how it went, and the rest is history. So Rabbi Goldfarb in the 1920s, so this was already years after, it was in the late 19 teens, so it was already years after he became a rabbi, he composed the tune to Shalom Aleichem. And about 10 years later, his brother composed another popular tune that we're going to hear today from our children who are going to be playing. That is, I Have a Little Dreidel. So, that's pretty significant for two brothers from the Lower East Side. So I couldn't find a really good arrangement of Shalom Aleichem for violin and piano. So I took the liberty of trying to write one myself. So this is my arrangement, and I think that they're going to make it sound better than anyone else can. The last piece in the professional program, we have young future professionals here too, coming up next. The last piece is a trio of a popular Hanukkah song. Hanukkah's coming up, Sevivon. Okay, Sevivon, written by another American Jewish composer, also in around the 1920s, from Idelsohn. And this is also, I wrote this trio as well. And it's a way for me to sneak into the professional performance myself. So I'm very excited.
much. You've been such an amazing audience. And thank you for having me. Thank you, Jonathan, for putting this together and also programming such an amazing concert. Yeah, thank you all and happy Hanukkah.